Good morning, everyone. The answer for this should be minus 30. Okay. And did you get the value of x? What is the value of x that you got here? 72 by 23. Everybody got this? 72 by 23? Anybody has doubt in this problem? No. Very good. And for this, what is the value of y? Very good. Y is equal to 4. So everybody has solved the problems. Rule. Now we understood for Kramer's rule, you require two equations and these two equations will be solved simultaneously. Okay. And we understood how to first solve the first three steps we had finished, where we are going to take these values, that is A1, A2, B1, B2 into a 2 into 2 matrix, and C1, C2 are the constants which will be present. So here for the first delta, it will be A1, A2, B1 and B2. And we will simplify this. Once we simplify, we are going to check for the condition. What is that condition? Delta, if it is equal to 0, then we will not be able to get any other answer. So we are going to stop the calculation. If delta is not equal to 0, then we can go to the next step. So that is what we are supposed to understand from the answer of delta. Now, once we get the answer for delta, next we have to find out delta x. Now, in delta x, we are going to replace C1 and C2 in the place of A1 and A2. Now, here for delta x, it will be C1, C2 and B1, B2. Okay, that will be the determinant for the delta x. And here we are going to simplify this determinant. We are going to solve this determinant and we'll get a value. Okay, this is our step number 4, where we have to calculate the delta x value. Okay, now step number 5. The next step is we are supposed to find out delta y. Now to find out delta y, what we are supposed to do is, in the place of B1 and B2, we will be replacing C1 and C2. So for delta x, what did we do? This C1 and C2 was replaced for the first column. Now in the delta y, we are going to replace C1 and C2 in the second column. So what will be the value? You'll have A1, A2, and instead of B1, B2, you'll have C1, C1 and C2. Okay, so we will have this C1, C2. Now we will solve this determinant. Now once we solve this determinant, we will get delta y. So this is how we find out delta, delta x and delta y. Now after this, we have to find out x as well as y. Now find out x and y, it's very easy. X is equal to delta x by delta, y is equal to delta y by delta. So this is the formula for the calculation of x and y. And we have all the data here. We have the delta value, we have delta x value, we'll have delta y value. So we just have to apply all of that into the equation, or sorry, formula, and find out the answer. So this is the steps in solving the Kramer's rule problem. Did you all understand the steps? Okay. Now let us directly get into the problem. Since you have all understood the step, so we'll get into the problem. So the first problem is solve using Kramer's rule. Now in first condition, or the first step in solving the Kramer's rule, is we have to form the determinant. And even before forming the determinant, we have to check if the equations are in the format of ax plus by is equal to c. Okay, now these equations are in the form of ax plus by is equal to c. Here also it is in the form of ax plus by is equal to c. Okay, so it is in the form of the ax plus by is equal to c. Now let us go to the next step. Now in the next step, we have to first form the determinant. So form the determinant delta is equal to, now in this two equations, a1x plus b1y is equal to c1, a2x plus b2y is equal to c2. Now what is a1? What is the value of a1? Can you say me what is the value of a1? 3. And what is the value of b1? 5. a2 6 and b2 5 again. Okay, c1 and c2 we will not consider as of now. Okay, c1 and c2 let it be there. Now for us what is important is a1, a2, b1, b2. Okay, so we have got the delta. Now let us evaluate delta. Okay, so evaluate delta. So let's solve this. So what do? You have to, you're supposed to do the cross multiplication. So how much you get? 3 into 5 minus 6 into 5. So 3 5s are 15 minus 6 5s are 30. So 15 minus 30 is equal to minus 15. Correct? So minus 15 is the value of delta. So keep this in mind, or put a box like this where we understood or we calculated the value of delta. Understood this step? Okay. Now let us go to the next step. The next step is we'll have to check if the delta value is equal to 0 or not. Now here if you see, the value of delta is minus 15. Since the value of delta is not equal to 0, we can go to the next step. Okay, you have to write that down, saying since delta is not equal to 0, we can proceed. Okay, 1 second. Yeah. Fine. Now let us go to the next step. Now in the next step, we are supposed to replace the values. Now how do we replace the values? Now form the determinant. Since it's the first problem, let us write the explanation. Okay, delta x by replacing first column of delta by constants 8 and 11. Okay, therefore delta x is equal to, now in the place of 3 and 6 we will have 8 and 11. Okay, so the determinant will become 8, 11, 5 and 5. So in the place of A1 and A2, I have replaced C1 and C2. Did you understand? Are you all able to follow? In the place of A1 and A2, I have replaced C1 and C2. Okay, now let us solve this. So cross multiply 8 into 5 minus 11 into 5. So 8 5s are 40 minus 55. So what is the answer? Again it is minus 15. Okay, let us write the answer exclusively. Delta x is equal to minus 15. Okay, now next step, similarly we have to find out delta y. Now form the determinant okay, just wait a second. Form the determinant delta y by replacing second column of delta by constants 8 and 11. So therefore delta y is equal to, now in the place of 5 and 5, we will be having 8 and 11. Okay, so 3 and 6 will be there. So we'll have 3, 6, 8 and 11. Okay, delta y is also minus 15. Good. So let's solve this. 3 into 11 minus 6 into 8. So 33 minus 6 8s are 48. So therefore delta y is also minus 15. Okay. Now finally we have to find out the value of x and y. Okay. So x is equal to delta x by delta, y is equal to delta y by delta. So delta x is minus 15, by delta is also minus 15. So therefore the value of x is 1. Delta y is minus 15, delta is also minus 15, therefore the value of y is also 1. Okay, so therefore x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 1. This is our final answer. So this is known as Kramer's rule. Understood? Any doubts? Good. Now let us solve the next problem. Yeah, x is equal to 1, y is equal to 1. Now let us solve the next problem. Now in the next problem, again we have two equations. First check if the equations are in the form of ax plus by is equal to c. Here also it is ax plus by is equal to c. Plus or minus doesn't matter, but it should be in the form of ax plus by is equal to c. Let us start. So first you have to form the determinant. Now here you need not write the explanation. You can directly find the delta delta x, delta y, and find the value of x and y. Since it was first problem, I asked you to write everything including the explanation. In examination, if you have time, please write it along with the explanation. If you do not have time, then you can just solve the problem directly. Okay? Now let us solve the problem. So first, what will be the delta value? Can anybody say me what should be the determinant? A1, B1, A2, B2. So how do I write that? A1 is 5. Okay. What is B1? B1 is 3. Then 5 minus 3. Good. Good, Bindu. 5 minus 3. Take it along with the sign. Then minus 7 and 11. Very good. Solve this. Solve this and say me the value of delta. 5 into 11 minus 3 into minus 7. Be careful, you have minus signs. So 5 into 11 is 55 minus 7 into 3 is 21. So the value of delta is 55 minus 21 is 34. How did I get plus 21 here? Minus 3 into minus 7. Minus into minus is plus. So the value of delta is 34. Everybody got 34? Anybody has confusion here? Good. Now, next let us find out delta x. Now for delta x, you have to replace the first column, that is 5 and minus 7, with 24 and 14. That is the constant. Now, can you people say me what will be the determinant for delta x? What should I write here as the determinant? What should be the determinant? (24 minus 3), okay, and that will be the first row, and 14 and 11. Okay, good. So 24 and 11, if you see, sorry, 14. 24 and 14, that is C1 and C2. And the B1 and B2 will remain as it is, that is 3 and 11. Now solve sigma, sorry, delta x. Solve delta x. 24 into 11 minus 3 into 14. So 24 into 11 is 264. Okay, Anusha gave me the final answer only. 9 and 7. Good, Anusha. Correct. Minus 3 into 14 is minus 42. Two 264 plus 42. So how much do you get? You get 306. You should not subtract. You should get 306. Okay, complete this. Now let us go to the 3 into 3 matrix of solving using Cramer's rule. Okay, now 2 into 2 matrix, everybody understood? Any doubts in the 2 into 2 matrix? Okay. Now let us go to 3 into 3 matrix. Now the procedure remains same, but here we will be finding out delta x, delta y and delta z. Okay. The rest of all the procedures and steps will remain same here. Let us start. So first we have 3 variables. So let us define that. Here there are 3 variables x, y and z. To solve this, we can take 3 into 3 determinant. Okay, since we have 3 variables, we are considering 3 into 3 determinants. Now let us first form the delta. Now for delta, it is a 3 into 3 matrix. So what is the first row? Whatever is the coefficient that is there in the first equation, that will be in the first row. So you will have 2, 1 plus y. See 2x, right? So 2, then plus 1y. If there is no number, it is 1. And it is plus. So it is 1. And then minus z. So that is nothing but minus 1. Okay. So 2x plus y minus z is nothing but 2x, 2 and then plus 1 and minus 1. Did you understand how am I taking the coefficients? Yes? Now, what will be the coefficients for the second row? What should I write here in the second row? Quickly. 1, that is 1x, 3, that is for y, and 2, that is for z. Very good. Now coming to the last row, what should I write for the last row? What should be the determinant? First is 3 and then it is minus 1. Be careful, it should be minus 1. Take the sign along with that. Okay, very good, Imran. We do not have z, so the value of z will be 0. Okay, so 3 minus 1, but the value of z will be 0. So this is the determinant. This is the determinant for the delta. Now you have to solve this determinant. Now you all know how to solve the determinant, right? Where we will take the first row, 2 into the minor of 2, 1 into the minor of 1 and minus 1 into the minor of minus 1. You know how to solve that, right? The delta part? Yes or no? Okay. Solve it. Solve the delta. Yes, first row, first column. No, no, I'm not asking you to multiply. Are you cancelling first row, first column? If you're cancelling first row, first column, then it is correct. Then after this, you're supposed to take the minor of it. Let's see, say me the value of delta. Anybody got the answer? Delta is 8. No, Anusha. Delta is not 8. Find out the value quickly. So you will have to take 2 into 3, 2 minus 1 and 0. And then it is supposed to be minus 1 into 1, 2, 3 and 0. And then plus of minus 1 into 1, 3, 3 minus 1. Your delta value should be 20, not 0. Sorry, 8. Now listen here. Find the delta value, and after that, in the next step, you have to replace the first column with the constant. So what is the constant? 6, 3 and 5. So replace the first column with the constant, and rest all will be same. That will be your delta x. Now coming to delta y, replace the second column with the values of uh, values of constant, and the other two will be same. And when you see to the last one, you will have the last column is supposed to be replaced and rest all will be same.